unknown genome in humans has been discovered by scientists. Earlier in 2016, the American Society of Human Genetics held its annual meeting, and the conclusions they reached could easily be described as shocking for people from Melanesia, a region in the South Pacific that includes Papua New Guinea and its neighboring islands. So it seemed that the specific people who gave the samples contained some strange genes in their DNA. Geneticists believe the unidentified DNA belongs to a previously undiscovered species of humanoid. According to Ryan Bollender of the University of Texas at Urbana-Champaign, one of the researchers in the study, the species is thought, he said, to be neither Neanderthal nor Denisovan. He claims that this is something completely different. The Denisovans represent an extinct species belonging to the genus humans, named after the Denisova cave in the Altai Mountains of Siberia, where the first bone fragment belonging to the species was found. Very little, though, is known about this enigmatic cousin of ours. On the other hand, the so-called Neanderthal Man is a species of human, not human, that appeared 200,000 to 250,000 years ago and disappeared completely about 41,000 to 39,000 years ago. Bollander said that human history is much more complex than we previously thought, but piece by piece, the human past is coming to light. Kindly support my Patreon account since YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. And discoveries like this seem to point in a direction that we may not be those who believe that we are. Now, in a recent study, according to Science Daily, a new analysis of ancient genomes suggests that different branches of the human family tree have been crossed many times and that some people carry DNA from an archaic, unknown ancestor. Melissa Hubitz and Amy Williams of Cornell University and Adam Siepel of Cold Springs Harbor Laboratory report these findings in a study published August 6, 2020 in PLOS Genetics. About 50,000 years ago, a group of people migrated out of Africa and crossed with the Neanderthals in Eurasia, but this is not the only time our ancient human ancestors and relatives have exchanged DNA. The sequence of genomes from the Neanderthals and a lesser-known ancient group, the Denisovans, provided much new insight into these cross-referenced events and the movements of ancient human populations. In New York, the researchers developed an algorithm for analyzing genomes that could detect parts of DNA that came from other species, even if the gene flow occurred thousands of years ago and came from an unknown source. They used the algorithm to see the genomes of 2 Neanderthals, a Denisovan and 2 Africans. The researchers found that 3% of Neanderthal genome came from ancient humans and estimated that the crossbreeding took place 200,000 to 300,000 years ago. In addition, 1% of the Denisovan genome probably came from an unknown and more distant relative, probably Homo erectus, and about 15% of these super archaic regions may have been passed on to modern humans. The new findings confirm previously reported cases of gene flow between ancient humans and their relatives, and also show new cases of crossbreeding. Given the number of these events, the researchers say that genetic exchange was possible whenever 2 groups overlapped in time and space. Their new algorithm solves the difficult problem of locating tiny gene flow debris that occurred hundreds of thousands of years ago when only a few ancient genomes are available. This algorithm may also be useful for studying gene flow in other crossbreeding species such as wolves and dogs. What I find fascinating about this work is that it shows what you can learn about deep human history by jointly reconstructing the full evolutionary history of a collection of sequences from both modern humans and archaic anthropogenesis, said Adam Spiegel. This new algorithm, developed by Melissa A.R.G. Weaver D., is able to go back in time more than any other computing method I've seen, it seems to be particularly powerful in detecting ancient invasion. That means going and populating a certain region. What could this ancient region population have been? Other scientists looked at DNA samples taken from 83 Aboriginal Australians and also looked at 25 participants belonging to populations from the highlands of Papua New Guinea. To their surprise, the researchers discovered exotic, quote-unquote, exotic-like Denisovan DNA in the genomes of the studied volunteers. They named it Anisa VIN, but in fact the group of ancient ancestors who gave their genes to the ancestors of the participants is completely unknown. But whatever name is given, it's not difficult to imagine the alternative version of our past. So we wonder, what if this unknown ancestor, one of the sons of God, quote-unquote, who saw the daughters of men and took them for wives, according to the book of Genesis of the Old Testament? But who were the people, quote-unquote, then, and who were the sons of God? Many ancient traditions and sacred books of different cultures refer to beings who came from heavens and mingled with humans. Others say that the beings that came from heaven created humans, either with earthly material, such as the gods of the Greeks, or by transforming the humanoid of the earth into humans, such as the Anunnaki. It seems the exploration of DNA of different people also is of findings, and it's a key to our true genealogy. Otherwise, assumptions could be made for centuries. We are therefore waiting for the next scientific efforts that will gradually unravel this evolutionary tangle of our human origins. And I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support.